Awesome. So as people are coming in, I'm going to do a little bit of an intro for what we're doing here. So I know I sent out a whole email, but oh, hi, Lisa. I'm going to try to, you guys might see me move my head from here to there because I'm looking at the comments and also my notes. But this is 14 Days of Christmas. So welcome. Pretty much what we wanted to do here is be able to give you guys a full in-depth training of what it is to create a quiz all the way to implementing it. I'm going to try to go as deep as I can, but I only get 30 minutes a day with everybody. But we've had a ton of requests for, tying in the tech part of creating a quiz as well as the strategy. So I thought I'd do a little bit of both. Hopefully at some point you guys will be able to actually follow along with me in the builder. So when we get there, I will let you know. Each day we're going to go over a different topic. And I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. Each day we're going to go over a different topic. And when we get to that day, that's the day to ask those types of questions. So this is everything you're going to need to know to get started on your quiz. It's perfect if you are a beginner or if you kind of need some additional help. If you do have most of your quiz, but you feel like, oh, this is information is stuff I already did, that's totally fine. You can tune in when it's right for you. But I am going to try to go through from all the way from the beginning all the way to the end. So this is why we're doing it. What you can expect from me is that there's going to be some days like today where I don't share my screen just because we don't need to, but there will be a part where I will share my screen. All of these videos are going to be recorded into the Facebook group. So you guys will have access to it if you are watching it later down the line. And I will be checking the comments throughout each day just to see if anybody has extra questions. Maybe you got to it later or you're watching this later. Or if I wasn't able to answer your question in the 30 minutes, then I will get back to it in the comments. So there are a few things that I do ask of you guys as we go through the next 14 days, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Really simple, just three things. Number one, please ask me questions. This is the time to do so. I know I've done a ton of workshops this year, and one of the biggest things is I get a lot of questions where I'm like, oh man, I wish I could answer this right now, but it just wasn't the workshop for that question. And this is the time to do so because I'm going to go through pretty much everything. And even if you're watching later, like I said, I'm checking the comments, so write it in there and I will get to it as soon as possible. Number two, please be patient with me and also be kind in the comments. I'm going to try to get through as many questions as I can and hopefully answer it while I'm on video. But like I said, if I don't get to it live or, I am looking at it later in the comments, I will try to get to your question. Another thing is if I am going to cover it on another day, I might just let you know what day I'm going to cover that on so that way you can tune in on that day. And the last thing I want to ask of you guys is please don't give up. I know creating a quiz funnel is a lot of work and it seems really simple on the surface. We talk a lot about how many leads people get, but no one ever talks about how hard it is actually figuring out what the heck it is to do for your own business. We have a ton of resources and I will go over all of that through this process and show you where to find all of that. But if you do need more in-depth help, we do have a ton of consultants that we work with. And they're all certified consultants, which means that they're approved to show and help you create your quiz. I'm going to go and link that at the end of this workshop today, so that way you guys have access to that. Another thing too, in terms of don't give up, please take notes. I don't really have a presentation style. A lot of it will be me talking, except for when we're in the builder and I'll actually be going through sort of a demo with things with you. But in that case, please take notes. You can always watch back the videos, ask questions again, and yeah, hopefully I get to everything you guys want to know. All right, so without further ado, I have some people in here. Hi, guys. Hi, Sean. I think I see. Hi, Andrea. Hope you guys are doing well today. It's the first day of December, so this is 14 days of Christmas. Okay, so before we do talk about the actual quiz process, well, I should say building the physical quiz of it, there's something that you need to think about before actually getting into that. So we're going to talk about the pre-quiz planning and research and what that whole thing looks like. I'm going to start here because this whole process up until your quiz is super necessary, and it makes it so much easier to actually figure out what your quiz is actually going to be about and if it's going to be successful or not. And do you need to do a whole new quiz, or do you just need to do some tweaks? So from here, prep your quiz funnel. The very first thing that I'm going to talk about, I'm actually splitting this up into 2 days. So tomorrow we're going to go over the next one. Um, the first question I want you guys to ask when you're actually thinking of your quiz funnel is a quiz right for your business, and is Interact right for your business? I like to be really transparent about this just because we're really big on if it doesn't work for you and your business, and that's totally fine. And we want to make sure that people are successful in their business and their sales and all of that. And that totally matters if the software is right, if the tools are right. And so this is the very first question that you should totally ask yourself when you're trying to figure out, should I build a quiz? And if I'm building a quiz, should I use Interact? And hopefully as we go through the next 14 days, you'll figure that out too. Okay, so the very first thing for this that I want to go over is, what is a marketing funnel? This word gets thrown around everywhere. And in my experience doing workshops in the last few months, I found that it's a very scary word for a lot of people because there isn't quite a definition for it yet, or like it's still so new that people aren't really sure. Good news is it's pretty similar to the concept of a sales funnel, where you want people to start at the top and you have this huge bucket, and as they move closer to buying from you, they move down sort of a funnel, and when they get to the end, they are hopefully like a loyal customer that you can just continue to market to from there. With a quiz funnel, it's really simple and similar, where the quiz is the top of that funnel. And it's pretty much the part where you grab people in. And that's important because a lot of people do put their quizzes in a lot of different places. But for this specific workshop, we're going to talk about it at the top, where it's collecting those leads, grabbing those people in, and hooking them into your business. This is the process in which you attract an audience that then become loyal buyers. And from here, let me see for my notes. This is super important because it's the first thing that your target market's actually going to see from your business. So this will all kind of make more sense later down the line. But when you have your quiz ready to go, you're going to be posting it on social media. People are going to be sharing it that have never seen you before or your business. You might be running ads. You might be pushing it out to other people to share. It really just depends. But people who haven't seen you before, this is that first moment. So it's kind of like that first impression. It's going to be that hook, like I keep saying. Next thing I want to talk about is why a quiz. Seeing some comments. Let's see, Lisa, hi, complete newbie. I have had Interact for several months, but never done anything with it. So I'm really happy. Awesome. I hope you get a lot of info from this. Please ask questions and let me know. Robin, let me know what you mean by why it won't let you on so I can see what's going on. Is it the video? But let me continue. So if you guys have questions, feel free to put it in the comments, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try to look when I see it. So number 2, when you're thinking about why you should use a quiz for your business, is really that. Like, why should you use a quiz? Why do you want to use a quiz? What is it going to do for your business? When you are thinking about using a quiz, I usually like to tell people that it's a great way to actually engage your audience. I know that one of the biggest things that I've heard from partners and customers alike was just that, like, it's so fun. It's like, you just go into someone's quiz and they're asking you these questions. It's really simple. It gets you quick. And then at the end, you actually get value out of it. It's a super engaging thing. It's fun for people, and it gives you all that info. Because this is the top of the funnel, like I said, it's a great way to grab people. So start to think of, if you were to run it as a Facebook ad and that was the first thing that they see, it's almost like you're saying hello to people without even knowing it. It's actually going to be that first part where they're going to say, like, oh, like what type of, or what's your brand voice, or what type of, I don't know, cake are you? That's the first thing that they're going to see. And it's almost a good way of saying hello to people that you wouldn't normally reach online. Um, and it also personalizes the experience. So this is kind of where I was trying to get with before saying it, because it was in my notes and I knew it was. But you're also having a conversation. And that's what's awesome about the quizzes is it gives you the opportunity to actually talk to people before you even know you're talking to them and without actually hopping on a phone. And I say this all the time, but it's a great way to let people get to know who you are and also get to know who your audience is. So you want your quiz to be really conversational, and this is the best way to do that. A great way to also think of why you should use a quiz is it gets straight to the point and it leads them to the exact services and products and information they need. So a lot of times a question that I get is, how do I know what kind of quiz I need to make? And there are a few different types out there, and we'll get to talk about all of it, but it depends on, what your offers are. So are you service based? Do you send people to consultations, one-on-ones? Is it email? Do you just have a course? Or is it products? Do you have digital products? Are they physical products? Are you e-commerce? And also, are you giving them information they need? Is this something where it's a DIY? They get some kind of a package. What is it in that? You'll also get to build a relationship with your audience. I know I touched on this a little bit, but pretty much what I mean by this is you not only are you pretty much learning from them and who they are and able to, get to figure out what it is that they need, but they're also getting to know who you are based off of your quiz. So based off of the questions that you ask, based off of the results that you give them, and also based off of the welcome series and how you talk to them after the fact, they'll really get to know about you and your business through all of that. Cool. Another thing is it gives them I already said this, but it gives them a chance to get to know you and your business. And the reason why I want to say this again is because I had this really great note in here that I think is a really important thing that people forget is you have to be yourself when you're creating your quiz. Just remember that you're still just marketing. And a lot of the times people buy from you because of who you are and what you stand for. It's not just about your business. So you want to make sure that it's true to your brand and true to yourself. Another huge thing about why a quiz is that data is everything in marketing these days. And it doesn't have to be where, I know there's a lot of controversy over privacy and all that, but because they are opting into this quiz, then you have the opportunity to still ask them who they are, get to know who they are. And even if they don't opt in, you'll also understand, like, okay, so who in my audience maybe got this result, or how many people clicked answer B on question 2, and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to get to know all of that. When we get to analytics, I'm actually going to show you how to read all of that and what that looks like, why it's so important. This is a big one that you guys have probably heard all the time everywhere, but a big thing with quizzes is segmentation. And I know it's a big word and it's like kind of scary to think about when you're first like, I don't even know what it means. It took me a while to get it when I first got here and I didn't quite understand how important it was. But after seeing it in play so many times, it really makes a huge difference. So all segmentation is putting people into sort of a category or bucket, whatever you want to call it. And pretty much from there, you're kind of putting them into a schema where now you know exactly who they are, how to talk to them, what they like, what they want, and what they need. When you're segmenting your audience, it's important because somebody who maybe is super new in their business, they just started 2 days ago, is going to have a totally different conversation with you than somebody who's been in business for 5 years. Maybe they were like, it hasn't been working. I need to do an entire rebrand. different things like that. Or in terms of e-commerce and products, maybe you have somebody who, doesn't like the color blue, but you have someone else who only wears blue. So this is pretty much why segmentation is important. So that way you can still serve a broader audience, but be able to talk to people specifically for who they are and what they need, which has everything to do with data, has everything to do with personalization. And that's everything that you can get with one quiz. Cool. Another thing that I want you guys to think about when you are thinking of, why a quiz and why interact is your goals. So this is a huge thing, just because I've even in the past have talked to people where I'm like, okay, well, why are you doing a quiz? What is it? And, I think on the surface, it's really easy to say, well, I want to do a quiz because I've seen this person online get 1,000 leads in 2 days, or 3,000 leads in a week, stuff like that. And it does sound really cool on the surface, but if you don't know at your core what it is that you want out of this quiz or what you're trying to get from this outcome, then your quiz is not going to be successful. You won't be able to come up with a quiz that actually works. So this is the number one thing you have to think about. So something that I want you guys to think about when you are looking at the goals, these are a few questions that I came up with. Everyone does this differently. Something that I always like to say is there's never one way to come up with a quiz or your funnel. So if you have other ideas, please feel free to put it in the comments. Let people know. Give me feedback. I'd love to hear what everybody else says. But there's a few questions that I think are good to ask when you're thinking about what your goals are. So what are your goals for your business or marketing strategy? In other terms, like, what do you want to get out of this, right? So the second one would be, what outcome are you looking for? Are you looking for sales? Are you looking for loyal customers? Are you looking to build your audience? Are you looking to understand your audience? What is it? There's a ton of different things. It could be all of those. It could be none of those, and it could be one or two of those. But it really depends on what stage you are in your business. It depends on what your offers are or products, and it really just depends on what you're trying to do when you put a quiz up on your site. And also, last thing, which ties into everything that I've been saying, is what do you hope to accomplish with a quiz? So that's kind of the same idea where it's like, when somebody gets to the end of your quiz, are you hoping that they buy from you? Are you hoping that they schedule a call? Are you hoping that they go to your community group or, maybe your Instagram? Where is it? Where do you want them to go? So once you have all this set up and you're looking into, what tool do you want to use? Of course, I'm going to talk about Interact, but a big thing when you're looking for the right tool for what you want to use for a quiz is, of course, usability. Is it friendly? Is it user friendly? Is it something that you can easily get? Is it something that you can use on all the other tools that you're working? Does it integrate? Are you able to put it up here and there? All of that matters, right? The good news is with Interact is we do integrate with most of the major email marketing systems. And if you don't have any of those, we also integrate with Zapier, so you can connect through a Zapier account. Or worst case scenario, if you're like, I really, really want to use Interact, but it's just not there, I can't Zap, I can't integrate, then what you can do from there is actually manually download all of your leads and manually upload them into your email marketing platform. It's not the easiest or most seamless, but worst case scenario, we just have every option available just in case. I do always recommend that if you are still choosing an email marketing platform, it is a lot easier if you're using one that we directly integrate with, just because you're just clicking around in the same area and it's really easy to set up. And we'll go over that. I don't want to say too much because it has its own episode. Another thing that you want to look at when you're looking at what tool you want to use is, will it do everything that you want to do? So there's a couple different things that I've seen people ask. Over pretty much like broadly, what we do is we specialize in lead generating quizzes. I've seen people want specific things like categories or maybe in a survey type. And while we can do most of the things, if it doesn't work for you and your business and you're looking for something that we don't do, I always recommend looking at your other options. Just seeing what else is out there, because at the end of the day, what we want is for you to be successful in your business. So hopefully too, also, if you feel like, hey, this is actually a feature you guys could use, we always love taking feedback. Every time we improve our software, it's always based off of customer and partner feedback, and what people are asking for. So there's that. And yeah, with all of this, I have actually 10 minutes left, so I'm going to start wrapping it up. But with all of this, what really matters for us is if you take care of your community, then you will be successful and everything will fall into place after. So that's why we're doing this. That's why we want to go through each step with you. I know the 30 minutes seems super quick. And today I really just covered the very, very, very beginning. So tomorrow, what I'm going to be going through is a step further into it. So after you figure out like what your goals are, why you want a quiz, is a quiz right for you at this time? Are you ready to do it? Then tomorrow we're going to talk about doing your research. And that's going to entail a lot of stuff about knowing who your audience is, knowing what you're going to use as an offer. So stay tuned until then. I want to make sure that I answer any questions that people have in the comments right now. So if you guys have any off of everything that I said today, please let me know. If you watch this again later and have questions that come up later, just put it in there and I will take a look. Okay, so Lisa asked, is there a way to post a quiz in a private Facebook group in a way that the members in the group can share it outside? So yes and no. I want to say if it's a private group, there's no share button on the Facebook post. So that way they cannot. However, if you go through your quiz and you have share buttons at the end when somebody gets their result, or you have share buttons throughout the quiz, then they can share it that way. So that is an option. And that's actually a good question. I can add that into some of the stuff that we go over when we go over some tech tips, which will be towards the end of the 14 days. Good question. Let me see. I might have missed some. Okay, guys, I have like 8 minutes left. So if you have any other questions, or also let me know if there's anything that you're hoping to cover, I'll let you know what day that's on and we'll go from there. Otherwise, that's everything that I have for today. Really just making sure that you guys are in the right place, and letting you know that this is a really hard, not hard, but it's a hard process. It could be difficult at first, but as you get through it, it's super easy. You'll be great. Once I'm off, I'm going to go ahead and post the consultants page into the comments. So that way, if anyone is like, you know what, this is not for me, I need help, you can go see one of them there. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.